Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Another episode of the Detour podcast, and it was a pretty epic stage 10. We thought that Iffy, you almost the oracle. You predicted Nick Schultz for the win, and geez, it doesn't get any closer than that.
No, he should have won it too
I know.
because he was the strongest there. He rode a beautiful race. Maggie was, only just got back on only because they eased, and Maggie wouldn't have even been there. But he's pretty quick. Schultz sprints well in a small group. He did everything right, actually.
I know.
Closed the gaps. Sanchez was away. The American Jorgensen bridged. He got up to him easy, and then he just been bang. Just couldn't quite get rid of them when Bale come up. Good bike rider. Perro Bay, Sun Tour. Can't get any bigger than that. And went by, but he had all the answers, and I thought, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. He's going to make me look good. Gee, there was nothing in it.
Heartbreak. There's been a few tight finishes at this tour.
Yeah. Been some rippers, hasn't there?
Yeah. Obviously, the big news before the start was Luke Durbridge was a non-starter due to a COVID positive result, and then George Bennett tested positive as well. That was announced a little bit later in the morning, but we caught up with Matt White and Neil Stevens before the start. Whitey in particular to talk about Durbo. This is their reaction before the start.
Matt White, obviously devastating. Luke Durbridge won't start today after testing positive for COVID.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, the athletes have put a hell of a lot of effort into arriving here in peak condition for this race, and obviously for sponsors and everyone else, it's such an important race, and to lose one of your athletes is a big disappointment for us. And good news that Luke's not too bad, but he has tested positive for COVID this morning.
The thing that baffles me is, you've got the general public, it's like it's 2019 again, yet you've got teams where the stakes couldn't be higher, and you're expected to mix with the general public, yet stay protected. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, well, in 2020, we were abiding by the rules of the health departments of those countries, and we had our own separate dining areas. The testing rules were different based on which country you're in, but all those rules are now gone, but we still get tested and have harsh consequences if we test positive.
Is there a way that the teams can sort of come together and work out a better solution moving forward, or is it just whatever the UCI set out as a protocol, that's it?
Well, the UCI are the ones who make the rules. I think the difference is that the world has moved on, and I think our rules for COVID need to be reviewed for sure.
One of the biggest things, I suppose, you can protect the bubble to a certain extent. You've got the crowds on the road, but they're going at speed. But it's more around the hotels, yeah?
Yeah, that ship sailed a long time ago because it's not law here, and it's not law in most countries in the world that people have to wear masks who are at the hotels. Or at some of the hotels have been really good, and the staff have been wearing masks, and we've had our own dining areas, private rooms, and that sort of stuff. So it's been hit and miss. It hasn't been the same everywhere we've been here, but that's been the same all year this year, really. And it's been a gradual wind down of protection since the laws in those countries wound down.
Maybe in 2023, ASO invests in 20 food trucks for all the teams.
Well, that would be one thing. Let's say, but it's how many contact points a day? How many contact points a day do people have? So even for what you guys are doing, we're getting tested, but none of the media is getting tested. So the media are living in their little bubble, but they're in contact with us as well. So it's there's some things that can be definitely improved. And at the end of the day, Durbo woke up feeling sick this morning, and it should be a medical decision as well. And at the end of the day, it was a medical decision. He didn't start. So, but there's other cases where people have actually gone positive and had no symptoms. So. Durbo had clear symptoms, and our medical staff obviously sent him home. Yeah,
well, as they say, the show must roll on, and stage 10 today, it looks like a stage suited for the breakaway. Do you think someone like Nick Schultz, or do you think it'll come together?
Oh, look, I think because it's such a short, intense stage, with a 20k downhill, then onto a Cat 4, and there's a lot of climbing today, but the hard climb is the last one. So I would expect the break to go. No idea how long it's going to take. Going on the last few days, it'll take a while, but it'll be a very fast stage, and I do expect the break to stay away to the line today.
All the best today, mate.
Yeah, cheers.
Neil Stevens, how's your rest day, mate?
Bloody fantastic, actually. We stayed in a hotel near the finish, and there's a bit of a walking path, a gravel walking path, and me and the press guy, he gets along all right running, and we did a 20-kilometre run. So everyone went out for a bit of a walk, a bit of a run or whatever, but yeah, the boys went out on their bike and I did a bit of a run. I buggered myself up a bit. I was pretty tired in the afternoon. I got a bit of a nap in the afternoon, and then had a team barbie, and then back in action today.
Now, how's it work with the riders on the rest day? Do you just let them choose their own program, or do you tell them what to do? Have you softened in your old age?
No, well, it's not my department, so I have softened in that regard. I don't really get into what they're going to do. That's up to the coach and up to the nutrition guy to work out their day. But basically, the boys like a bit of security. They like to be told what they need to do. They don't like to think about it. They had an easy hour and a half with a few efforts at the finish just to finish it off.
Now, there's a big 3 days coming ahead, Neil, and today looks like it could be suited for the breakaway. What about my man Fred Wright? Get him up the road?
Fred Wright, it might be a bit gravity challenged today. Bit of a hard day. It's been actually one thing I'd like to say. Sad to see Luke Durbridge just heading home. But yeah, it might be a bit of a breakaway day. Maybe a couple of the guys that get over a bit of a hill might be better for today. And also it's the start of a bit of a challenge over the next 3 days. The GC guys have to really turn up the screws today, but also don't use all their energy up for the next couple of days coming up.
Now, you've mentioned Luke Durbridge. We caught up with Whitey before. It is one of those things with the tour. We said that there's, the general public, they don't adhere to mask rules and things like that, yet there is a bubble inside here. Moving forward for this race, I mean, what do you think is the solution to better protect the teams?
Well, we in our team in Bahrain Victorious, we go over and above on the mask rules, the hand wash and the distance. We actually have mini bubbles within the team, so we don't associate with other parts of the team. Just in case there's a problem, we can just cut ourselves off and separate ourselves off. Look, it's not much you can do about it these days. I know it's hard for our staff when we get into the hotels and there's people walking around all over the place without masks, but it is what it is. We've all started to learn how to deal with COVID. Unfortunately, that takes its toll on people like Durbo and his team. But I'm not really sure that keeping the public away would be a little bit better because these mixed areas are really quite dangerous as far as COVID is concerned. But everyone's having a go.
All the best today, Sheriff.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, some good insights there. An update with what the UCI brought in. There's no media around the buses now. We can only go to the mix zone. So they've sort of cleared that whole area to hopefully protect the team.
Mate, that's where you got all your gold.
You won't see me interviewing the directors for the rest of the tour. I'm in the sin bin, so I'm in the mix zone, in the scrum.
Where are you going to get out the kangas?
Mate, you know me. I'll always find a way. Always. I'll just have to give it to him in the mix zone, and I'll about to show an interview.
You have been doing an amazing job. I know you're kind enough to send me some of those interviews you're about to show. A couple of them are classics. I love it.
Yeah, it's been good fun. I'll go through some comments. Jason Cruz from the Maldives says, so close, but I would still give him the chocolates. Obviously talking about Schultz. He was certainly the strongest in that group. Maggie saved a bit of energy and time. That sprint and throw well. I think Schultz is the clubhouse leader for the Kangaroo Award, so I'll make sure I get that to him today.
Yeah.
Fitzy Golf Pro says, I blame the mechanic. He needed another few pumps to make that tyre thicker for the win. Gabe says, unlucky for Schultz, but all these second places are still good UCI points for Bike Exchange at least. Is that how many points you get for second?
Yeah. Look, I'm not sure though, but second in a Grand Tour is serious points. So I'm not sure what the point system actually is. But look, they've had 3 seconds now. A stage win in 3 seconds. They're going well, and they will win another stage, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Wendy Superfan, she's listening to this in the car on the way to her club. Good on you, Wendy. Matt Glass says, Iffy, back in your day, how would have you dealt with the protesters? Now, there was a protester, a few protesters in the stage, sort of halfway through. They blocked the road.
That's Gossie, is it?
Yeah.
We'd have to go back to my day. What would you have done, Gossie? Look, there's a wonderful, great photo with Phil Anderson's in it.
Yeah.
But who's got the arm back, and that's how he dealt with them. Look, but they're genuine protesters. What they think they're missing one thing. Most people are on their side on the global warming and all of that, and make a thing. But don't stop the race. Stopping the race, you're getting all the French people, you're hating them now. You know, it didn't do much. They had to put the clocks on, drag them all off, you know, smoke bombs going off.
Oh.
Mate, we would have just ridden straight over the top of them and just kept going. That's what we would have done.
John Stevens says, after the COVID in Switzerland, he was surprised to see after an early stage Wout Van Aert hugging his child and presumably his wife. Is that Russian roulette? Because there are times where people outside the bubble come in, partners particularly, and they're saying, is that also an issue? Do they have to go back to the real strict bubbles where they go, nope, no one from the outside? It's getting
funny
tough.
how a lot of teams handle it differently. Bahrain, very strict. Bike Exchange Joko are probably as strict, if not the strictest. And Whitey is very conscious of it. He's worried about it all the time. It's been his major worry since we got from the Giro right through. Because one day races you get by, but a whole tour, they've lost a whole team with COVID just last year. So, and you can't blame them. And as he says, they're doing everything right, but then that's bloody media mongrels, we're not even getting tested. But we are doing the right thing. We're wearing masks, we're keeping a distance. It's the other issues. It's in their hotels. Look, it's just challenges everywhere. Yeah. I really feel for Durbo. We never got to hear what Durbo had to say. I think Durbo has got some different sort of thoughts on the whole COVID thing. We never got to get that out of him. But and it was that day you spoke to him that morning, and he came out with some of the things, and then the next day he's out. So maybe you're the problem, Jonesy.
Well, I got the proper medical N95 mask after everyone ripping my Hawthorn one, so I'm taking all the proper precautions now. And the other thing as well is, you just be conscious, even from the media perspective, that not to be around too many. Like, it's hard with the village because the village is just chockers. But when you're socializing and you're out in towns and that, we just don't go inside, don't go to well-built up places.
It's a serious issue. Look, it makes common sense. Wear a bloody mask whenever you can. We've got the same. It's not like just the Tour de France. Dan, in Victoria, we've got the same issue. We've got record number of cases at the moment. This new Omicron variant is highly contagious. It's more than the original, much more than the original Omicron. So our numbers are going through the roof. Our chief health officer has said to the government, you need to bring masks back in, and they won't do it. They just politically can't do it, and they're saying it's not politically motivated. Yeah, right. But they were listening to, they were using what the chief health officer was saying before, when everyone could. That's what he's telling us. We're doing what he says. Well, they've stopped doing that. So we've got issues. People aren't going to wear masks unless they're made to. And I think ASO should have it mandatory. You can't go anywhere near this bloody bike race without a mask on. You can't be in a hotel where the teams are staying without a mask on. That's as simple as that. That's the rule that needs to be made.
And even in the village, like, everyone has to wear a mask.
Exactly. It has to be. If bike rides are going to go into the village, they still do. I guess they still do.
No, I haven't seen many at all.
No.
It might be a handful, but not many at all.
But still, it's up to ASO to set these rules on their race here, I believe. Yeah. And you'd find these bike riders would still be here. And just say to the hotels, if you want us staying there, everyone has to wear a mask. Every guest who's staying there, other than the bike race, also has to wear a mask. All your staff in the hotels have to wear a mask, or we don't stay there.
Yeah. That's
to
a good
me,
point.
It's hard, but that's how it's going to be.
Yep. It's too much at stake. All right, we'll have a quick drinks break. We've got plenty more interviews to come. Stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike. 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. but not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange. You know what to do, folks. Bikeexchange.com.au. If you need anything bike related, you need a road bike, mountain bike, you need gloves, helmets, glasses, the works. Get on bikeexchange.com.au. They've been fantastic.
E-bikes. They've got a great special on e-bikes at the moment, which has taken over the world. Yep, no matter where in the world you are, you need something for your bike or a bike, jump on bikeexchange.com and you'll find it.
All right. Now, here's the compilation of all the interviews I did with the riders before the start. And we did the presentation for the Roo, caught up with Clarkey, so enjoy.
Simon Clark, I'm just checking in, mate, to see if your feet had touched the ground since stage 5.
Yeah, I've got your stone and I tied it to my ankle when I'm in the hotel, so that way it keeps me down, you know.
Well, just on the stone, thanks for not telling the media who gave it to you, because I didn't realise it's going to cause a hoo-ha.
I didn't think it was going to be a frontline story, but maybe there's a few tabloids out there that prefer to report on some more trivial kind of things, well, but don't worry.
Well, the people at home, you're not allowed to steal stones. This stone was not stolen, it was given from construction work, so that's a legit stone.
There you go.
But anyway, what did you get up to on the rest day? Just checking in on messages, lining up cashies for Melbourne?
Fortunately, my family wasn't too far away, so they came and dropped in and said hello. So I got to hang out with my daughter for the day and half a day, and yeah, it was great. We had a beautiful hotel, I had to swim in the pool, so I can't complain.
Fantastic, mate. And obviously, you know, it's a big 3-day block for the tour here. Today looks like it could be a stage for the breakaway. What are your plans for the next 3-day block, mate?
Yeah, I mean, today's interesting. I'll definitely have a bit of a look around today, and then the next 2 days a bit of a write-off for me in terms of I'm better off just chilling out. And then I'm really G'd for the last 3 days before the next rest day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday are really interesting stages, and maybe they all don't finish with a breakaway, but for sure at least one, if not two of those 3 stages will be win with a breakaway. So I'm just going to have to see how the race has panned out by then, and there'll be a lot, you know, there's still 14 guys within 3 minutes on GC, so it's still possible that today another Rigoberto run like the other day gets in the break and things get tricky. So, but by the end of this week, that won't be an issue.
And from an Aussie perspective, it was obviously sad to see Durbo having to abandon the race today with COVID.
Yeah, look, it's always on the back of our mind, and you know, even Ben O'Connor has been carrying a pelvis injury, and so yeah, I mean that's the Tour de France. Obviously, COVID is another factor again, but it's a tough game, and yeah, you feel so. We prepare all year for this race, and then to have to go home because of a positive COVID test is hard to take, but. You know, you take the good with the bad. I had my bad luck in the winter this year with no team, and you know we all have setbacks. They all come in different shapes and sizes, and you just got to move on. And I'm sure he'll probably come back and win a stage of the World Tour or do something with the extra motivation he'll have having to go home.
And you're talking to Ben O'Connor, obviously. Does it show how tough cyclists are? You know, finishing a Tour de France stage with a torn glute. If it was a soccer player, I mean, they blow over the breath of wind.
Yeah, I mean, I finished the tour last year. I rode 17 stages with 2 Vulcan vertebrae last year, and I'm not proud of that, but we do some silly things.
So a message for all other sports out there, harden up.
No, I mean, yeah, no, it's each to their own, each to their own.
All right, mate. Well, good luck today.
Thanks
and
a lot.
Hopefully see you at the break.
Cheers.
Adam Yates, it's a privilege again, mate. How was your rest day, first and foremost?
It was a nice one, actually, yeah. Good weather, did an hour. Some guys like to do more, but I think the key's in an 8 minute.
That's right. That's right. Less is more, Yatesy. Yeah. Now, it's a big 3-day block coming up. What's the plan of attack for you guys?
Today's a bit tricky. Day after the rest day is always full gas. And especially today, we got almost 20 k's of downhill. And, you know, if it's downhill start, it's always carnage. And then especially after the rest day. So, yeah, for sure it's going to be crazy. And then 2 big days in the mountains. So, big block.
I really appreciate you stopping by, Yatey.
No worries,
Good luck
mate.
today, mate. Phil Gilbert, we're all wondering from an Australian perspective, are you going to look after our little sprinter through these next 3 days, Caleb Ewan?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb had really a lot of bad luck on the last stage. You know, he had a flat tire, and then he had barrage. So he started to climb in the cars already, so not the best position. And then he was fighting a lot, but he made it. And yeah, I think he's gonna got also support from the team to get through these days. Yeah.
And for yourself in the break today, mate, or?
Trying. I never give up, but until now I didn't make it. But you know, I will not give up. We'll try again today.
You're a fighter, mate. You'll be up there. Don't worry about that.
I will not change.
Good day, mate.
Thanks.
Matthew van der Poel, it hasn't been the form that we probably expected this Tour de France, but how are you feeling?
No, for sure not. For me, it was also not the best week on the bike. I suffered quite a bit, but I'm happy to still be in this race, and I hope to find some better legs in the second and third week. But yeah, I'm not sure if they will come.
Do you feel that you are getting better and better?
But for sure, it's a bit better than it was in the beginning. As for less to follow the bunch, but it's not how I'm used to race, of course. So I hope I can show myself a bit more in the next weeks.
Now, what I like about you as well is you're another character in the peloton, and it was really entertaining the banter in Italy at the Giro with the pizza and the protocol. Have you got anything planned for France?
No, not really. I also don't know what I can do here.
Yeah, it's croissants, bit of cheese. It's the same old breakfast, isn't it?
No, I have nothing planned.
Okay, well, all the best for the rest
you.
of the tour, mate. Okay. Bob Youngles, congratulations. In Australia, we have a poll for Rider of the Day for SBS Sport, and you're the winner, my friend, and you get this very prestigious kangaroo.
Awesome, thank you.
You can hang that at the front of the bus, like the
do.
yellow line. Sensational ride. You must have been really proud after stage 9.
Yeah, obviously it was a big ride. It wasn't planned to go from that far, and but yeah, I knew I had to do something against let's say better climbers on that before that last climb, and so yeah, I just followed my instincts a little bit, and well, managed it rather well towards the end. So no, I'm very proud and I'm very happy about that day. Yeah.
And obviously, from an Australian perspective, it was sad to lose Ben O'Connor.
Yeah, I mean it's a pity. We came here obviously with Ben as a leader. It's a pity to see him struggling a little bit with health issues after his crash, and so yeah. I mean, I know he's been working hard for this, just like everybody else. But yeah, I mean, I hope that after the disappointment, he's going to find motivation and have a good, super good Vuelta.
Well, congratulations again, mate, and hope to give you another kangaroo down the track.
That would be cool. Thank you.
There you go. Good compilation of grabs there, Iffy.
Yeah, great stuff. I love Van der Poel, from pizzas to croissants. Yeah.
He's actually, it's funny when you ask them something that's just non-cycling related, their face always like, oh, finally, we can have a laugh or whatever. So.
Well, otherwise, you just get the cliche answers. So you ask them something different, and that's why you're getting more involvement. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Free Ranger's liking it. Jonesy's making a name for himself as a gun interview. I'm sure riders and staff also appreciate not being asked the same old question. I hope so. Will Wizard says second in the stage is 50 points for the team. That's why all the complaints teams can get more points in smaller one-day races without all the World Tour teams. Yeah, the system needs to be checked. Rob Charlton had 2 quid on Schultz, screaming at the tally, Iffy, you F-ing beauty. Bummer. Loving it, lads. Is Iffy going to the Vuelta?
Not finalised yet. Still planning to. So, yeah, hopefully, yes.
All right. Well, here was all the reaction from the Bike Exchange team. We grabbed their video off Twitter. So this is all the reaction with Schultz's narrow second place finish on stage 10.
The COVID-19 spectre hanging over the race really does affect things, doesn't it?
Oh, we're just treating it like anything else. We've got our bubble, we've got our team policies to keep it as tight as possible, and it's been around for 2 years now, so it's not new to us.
No, I was very happy to be there. It wasn't an easy break to get into. I went around the 70k mark, so about halfway into the stage. After a lot of climbing, it's not my forte. I guess experience to slip into a break like that. I was happy to be there. And then I don't know what happened up the road, but I'm guessing he had a blinder of a ride.
And it creaks up again, and Schultz has it. Schultz to the front with Cort coming around. Cort coming around him all the way to the line. Magnus Cort to the line. He looks around. He doesn't know. Fuck!
Really, really proud of Nick. I think he can be really proud of himself.
The boys are switching on and giving Schultz every opportunity to win the stage today.
You know, I tried to play poker. I've never really been in that position to contest a Tour de France stage win. It was almost perfect, but you know, we know Magnus Cort. He was just a better man, and yeah, I'm really happy with second. But to be honest, I'm also really upset. Like, it's not every day you get to try and win a stage of the Tour de France, you know.
So close, you know. It's a shame for him, but gives him a lot of confidence for already the rest of this race that he can come out and win a stage.
Yeah, some great insights there from Sammy and the Bike Exchange Jayco team. But I'm sure, as you said, there's going to be another stage in there. And as Clarkey said, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, they look better suited for him. So, you know, if that suits Clarkey, it'll shoot.
Well, they've got some between
Schultz.
Bling and Schultz, and also Dylan. We've got some great opportunities over the next week. You know, the big mountain stages. Look, today is a monster. Today, I reckon, is the Queen stage of the bike race, because those two HCs are close together, and I think this will be the one where they really.
Wouldn't the Queen stage be the one with 3 HCs in it?
Yeah, I know, but it's the bigger gap between the second last HC and Alpe d'Huez, and I just think today's a harder. Okay, it's got a HC earlier, but we've got a Cat 2 and a Cat 1 before this one, which makes it equal to it. But the Galibier, which is a monster, you've got Telegraph and the Galibier is virtually one climb. And so that's like 50 kilometres of climbing, and then quick descent and up the Col de Grenon, which is, I believe, harder than Alpe d'Huez. So I think today will be a monster. And then tomorrow, the next day, you've got Alpe d'Huez. So with the two of them together, I think it's going to be something else. But I just wanted to point out some fantastic rides yesterday. You just talking to Jack Bauer, he did a fantastic job in controlling that break yesterday and bringing back people and so on. Chris Hamilton doing a fantastic job again for Roland Bardet, and Michael Storer, you know, up there for David Gadoo and doing a really, really good job. So, you know, some Aussies in there. Interested to see how Rafael Maker, however you want to say it, goes today, because, you know, he was COVID positive, but in that lower register, as I say, which Bob Yunkles had day one, he was allowed to start this tour because of the same rule. He seems to have gotten through all right. So, yeah, look, I think we're in for an amazing day. Let's hope that no COVIDs pop up. Look, I don't want to sound like I'm beating a drum on this whole wearing masks thing, because, look, I'm not, you know, I've got my thoughts on it, but it's simple. It's as simple as this to me. It's a highly contagious airborne virus. So if people put masks on, then it's not going to travel to the next person there. Is that hard to work out?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, we'll wait and see what happens over the next couple of days. Who's your tip for the stage, Johnny? Do you reckon Ineos are going to show some cards at the next couple of days? They'll have to.
I do. I think them and Jumbo will be playing some cards today. If they don't, we'll be all screaming at them, why not? So they are going to. This is their chance. These next 2 days is their chance to win this tour. And you've got a man who's, okay, he's the rider of this, the Grand Tour rider of this generation. There's no doubt about that. But he's probably never been more vulnerable to right now. He's lost his main right-hand man in the mountains in George Bennett.
Yep.
So he's lost 2 of his team. I'm sure he won't be worrying about riding tempo today, but they won't have to. It's going to be on. But in the end, I'll pick him to win. I think the Pog will win.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll be back again tomorrow. I think we're in Italy overnight, Iffy. So hopefully the Wi-Fi is good. YouTube.com/the Detour podcast. And we'll see how we go on the mix zone today. We'll be in the washing machine. So, and shout out to my great mate, George Bennett. Obviously, it's devastating, and Will backs it up. Devastated for George. He looked so good on stage 9 and would have played a huge part in the high mountains. Big loss for the Pog.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. He would have played a huge role. And as he said, he hadn't had to do what he was there to do. And he was looking forward to doing it. And he would have been fantastic over today, and tomorrow would have been right up his alley. But
and remember, he's never been part of a Tour de France winning side. Like, he was there in 2020 with Roglic, and they came close when the Pog rolled him on the penultimate day. So, gutted for the guy. But as Clarkey said, everyone has setbacks, and it's how you overcome them. So, he'll be back. All right, your phone's ringing. You've got to go. We'll see you again tomorrow, guys.
Okay, mate. That's Jerry.
All right, you better take it. See you guys. See you tomorrow.
This is the winning ride of the Tour de France.